He writes about a place that no longer exists on maps. Anga, one of the ancient Mahajanapadas of India. The kingdom fell centuries ago, but the land is still there. The rivers, the soil, the way light hits certain hills at certain hours. He walks through it and feels something that has no English word. Not nostalgia, something older. He writes to explain what it means to be from a place that history forgot to keep naming. The kingdom of Anga disappeared from official records long before modern borders were drawn. It got absorbed, renamed, folded into other territories. Most people who live there now don't know the old name. The schools don't teach it, the maps don't show it. But he knows. He walks the land his ancestors walked. He sees the same rivers they saw, the same shape of the horizon. The temples are still standing, weathered but standing. The soil under his feet is the same soil that held their feet. He started writing about it because no one else was, not in the way he needed it written, not as a place that still mattered. History books mention Anga in passing, a footnote, a kingdom that rose and fell in the 6th century BCE. Then silence. But he lives there, he breathes there. He knows the names of things that don't appear in any current atlas. So he writes, he documents, he describes the geography of a feeling that has no coordinates you can enter into a phone. He is trying to say this place exists, not just in the past, right now, in me. It is not about claiming territory. It is about refusing to let a place go nameless while he still remembers what to call it. We all carry geographies that don't appear in atlases. A grandmother's village with no road sign. A neighborhood that got rezoned and renamed before we were old enough to protest. A country that dissolved while we were children. The official maps update, but we do not. We keep walking streets that have different names now. We call them by the ones we learned first. We are always slightly lost when we try to explain where we are from. Not because we don't know, because the coordinates we have are not the kind anyone else is using. We say the name and people look confused. We say the new name and it feels like lying. There is a specific loneliness in loving a place no one else is looking for. In being the keeper of a name that doesn't get you closer on GPS. In knowing that when we are gone, the place might finally be gone too. Not the land. The land will still be there, but the name, the way of seeing it, the memory of what it was called when it mattered most. We are walking atlases of places that have been erased from everything except us. What stays with me is the quiet defiance in it. He could let it go. He could call the region by its current name and move on. No one would blame him. History is full of places that stopped being called what they were called. That is how time works. But he doesn't let it go. He writes about Anga like it is still a living kingdom, not in a political sense, in a human one. He describes the land as his people described it. He uses the old name because it is the true name, the one that holds the shape of belonging. There is something about refusing to update your internal map that feels important, not out of stubbornness, out of fidelity, to the people who walked there before the borders changed, to the children who learned that name first, to yourself. Because if you stop saying it, who will? This is not about holding on to the past for its own sake. It is about carrying forward what would otherwise be lost. Not monuments, not empires, just the small truth that a place mattered, that people loved it under a name that no longer gets printed. I think about all the things we are the last ones to remember, the graves no one else tends, the stories no one else tells, the names that will die with us if we do not speak them out loud while we still can. It's not a burden exactly, but it is weight. We do this with family too. We keep names alive that the next generation will not remember. We know why a certain corner of a certain town mattered to people who are gone. We are the only ones left who can pronounce a word the way it was meant to be pronounced. It is not about preserving history in any grand way. It is about not letting it go silent while we are still breathing. Some of us write it down, some of us walk it, some of us just carry it quietly and hope that counts. There is no official record of most of what we carry, no plaque, no registry, just us, remembering, saying the name when it comes up, correcting the map when someone asks. And maybe that is enough, maybe it has to be. Because the alternative is letting it vanish. Letting the place become only what the current sign says it is. Letting the name fade until even we forget how to say it right. He is not trying to rewrite maps. He is trying to write the truth that maps cannot hold. The truth that a place is more than its current designation. That it carries all its old names inside it, like rings in a tree. That we carry those names too. And as long as we do, the place is not fully gone. It is still breathing in us, in how we see the land, in what we call it when no one is listening. Is there a place you are from that you cannot explain on a map? A place you have to describe instead of point to? A name you use that isn't the name on the sign? What do you call it when you talk about it in your head? If no one else remembered it, would you still go back? Would you still say the name out loud just to keep it real? What do we owe to the places that made us when those places no longer exist in any official way? Maybe we owe them this, the refusal to forget, the quiet insistence that they still matter. Not because history remembers them, because we do. The Flawed Seeker, a new reflection every day. We are all carrying maps no one else can read. Visit us at theflawedseeker.com.